Let's dive in. My name is Maria, and I'm the proud owner of a cozy little bakery that's been flourishing for the past 8 years. It all started when my grandfather passed away and left me his struggling bakery in his will. Meanwhile, my older sister, Clara, who's now 42, inherited his spacious house. Back then, Clara was navigating a tough divorce and needed a place for herself and her son, Ethan, who was just 9. The house was a lifeline for them, and Clara was over the moon. When I took over the bakery, it was barely staying afloat. Grandpa hadn't been able to keep up with it in his final years, so I poured my heart and soul into reviving it. I worked grueling hours, revamped the menu, spruced up the decor, and slowly turned it into a local hotspot. By year 2, we were turning a solid profit. But as soon as the money started rolling in, my family began to lean on me. At first, I didn't mind. Family helps family, right? For the past 8 years, I've been sending my parents $1,200 a month and Clara $900 to help with their expenses. It was just part of my routine, like paying my own bills. Beyond that, I was always covering extras. New school supplies for Ethan, a dishwasher for Clara when hers broke, even a fancy new couch for my parents. Whenever someone in the family had a financial hiccup, I was the one they called. Fast forward to last Thanksgiving, when we all gathered at my parents' place for our annual family bash. It's a big event, parents, Clara and Ethan, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole gang. We were eating, laughing, and catching up when Clara pulled me into the dining room. "Maria, we need to talk," she said, her face serious. "Ethan's turning 18 in a few months. It's a big deal. He's heading to college soon, and I want his birthday to be unforgettable." I nodded. "Totally agree. I've been thinking about getting him something special." Clara gave me a strange smile. "I knew you'd get it. This needs to be a milestone moment for him." Before I could say more, my phone buzzed with texts from bakery staff and customers. I got distracted responding, and Clara slipped back into the party. After the holidays, I was swamped with the bakery. January and February were hectic. Business was booming, and I was even toying with the idea of opening a second location. Then, a month before Ethan's birthday, Clara emailed me a list of links. No explanation, just real estate listings for condos priced between $200,000 and $400,000. I was floored. I called her right away. "Clara, what's with these condo listings?" "Oh, those," she said, casual as anything. "I figured you could pick one for Ethan's birthday gift." I was speechless. "You want me to buy him a condo for his 18th birthday?" "Yes," she replied. "He's going to college, he'll need a place to live, and 18 is a once-in-a-lifetime thing." "Clara, that's absurd. I can't just buy a condo for an 18-year-old. Her tone turned icy. "Actually, Maria, 18 is a huge deal. When I was 18, I got nothing. No house, no car, not even a decent phone." "That was a different time," I shot back. She huffed and hung up. I brushed it off as Clara being her dramatic self, figuring she'd drop it soon. I had a bakery to run. With Ethan's birthday approaching, I wanted to get him something thoughtful. After some research, I settled on a high-end tablet, perfect for college. It cost $2,500 and had all the features he'd need for schoolwork. I was excited about it. The birthday party was at my parents' house, as usual, with the whole family there. I set the wrapped tablet on the gift table and mingled. When it was time for presents, Ethan opened my parents' gift first, a new smartphone that made him grin ear to ear. Clara gave him a $150 gift card to a trendy clothing store. Then came my turn. I handed Ethan the tablet box, smiling. "Happy birthday, Ethan. This should be perfect for college." He unwrapped it, saw the tablet, and his face just sank. Not just underwhelmed, but visibly upset. I glanced around, confused. My parents looked irritated, and Clara was fuming. "Really, Maria?" she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "A tablet, that's it?" I was stunned. "It's a top-of-the-line tablet. It cost $2,500, Clara scoffed. "That's trashy, and you know it. You're being stingy with your own nephew." I stood there, dumbfounded, holding this expensive gift I'd carefully chosen while my sister called me stingy in front of everyone. "What are you talking about?" I stammered. "This is one of the best tablets out there." "We agreed you'd get Ethan a condo," Clara shouted. "We talked about it at Thanksgiving." "No, we didn't agree to anything. You mentioned wanting his birthday to be special, but I never promised a condo." "Don't lie, Maria. Your bakery's killing it. I know you're planning a second location. You can afford it." The room went silent. Everyone was staring. I felt like I was in a bad dream. "Clara, even if I had the money, a condo isn't a normal birthday gift for an 18-year-old. "You're so ungrateful," she yelled. "After all this family's done for you?" That's when Ethan started crying. He tossed the tablet box on the floor and glared at me. "You're so selfish, Aunt Maria," he sobbed, then stormed off to his room. My parents finally spoke up. "Maria, you've ruined his birthday," Mom said, shaking her head. "You got his hopes up and let him down." Dad nodded. "This is on you." I looked around. Some relatives avoided eye contact, others whispered. The party was a disaster, and somehow I was the bad guy. Something in me snapped. I was done being the family's cash machine. I grabbed the tablet box from the floor. You know what? I'm taking this back, and I'm done giving you all money. I walked out, ignoring Clara's shouts behind me. My hands were trembling as I drove home. My phone blew up with calls and texts from Mom, Dad, and Clara. I didn't read them, just deleted everything and silenced my phone. At home, I sat down and did the math. Over 8 years, I'd sent my parents $1,200 a month and Clara $900. That's $2,100 a month, or $25,200 a year. Over 8 years, that's $201,600 in regular payments alone. Then there were the extras: appliances, clothes, furniture, car repairs. All told, I'd given my family nearly $250,000. That money could have funded my second bakery years ago or bought me a house. Instead, I'd been propping up a family that treated me like their personal bank. I logged into my bank account and canceled the automatic transfers: $1,200 to my parents, $900 to Clara. Done. I sent a screenshot of the cancellations to our family group chat with one message: "No more payments, don't contact me." Then I turned off my phone and went to bed. The next morning, my phone was flooded. Mom sent a dozen texts calling me heartless, saying they needed the money for bills. Dad's messages were blunt, accusing me of betraying the family. Clara's were vicious, claiming I was tearing the family apart and never loved them. I replied once, "I'm done, don't contact me." Then I blocked them all. A few days later, they showed up at my bakery during the evening rush, Mom, Dad, and Clara storming in like they owned the place. "There she is," Clara shouted. "The worst sister ever." "Maria, fix this now," Dad demanded. Customers stared, my staff froze. I called my security guy, Mike. "Get them out and don't let them back in." "Carmen, we're your family," Mom cried as Mike escorted them out. Clara was still yelling, but I didn't care. I told Mike to ban them from the bakery. After that, relatives started calling, cousins, aunts, uncles, all saying I was too harsh, that family forgives. I hung up on everyone. Eventually, the noise stopped. For the first time in years, I felt free. I redirected the $2,100 I'd been sending my family into a savings account for my business. Within months, I had enough to start planning my second bakery location. It was amazing how fast the money piled up when I wasn't giving it away. In early summer, I was scrolling social media during a break when I saw a post from a cousin, photos from Ethan's high school graduation. He was in his cap and gown, but everyone, Mom, Dad, Clara, even Ethan, looked strained, their smiles forced. They seemed worn out. I felt a twinge of something, not guilt, but maybe sadness. It passed quickly. A week later, my doorbell rang on a Sunday morning. I peeked out and saw Mom, Dad, and Clara on my porch. I opened the door but didn't let them in. "What do you want?" I said no contact. "You can be mad at us," Dad said, "but don't punish Ethan, he's starting college soon." Clara jumped in. "You promised years ago you'd pay for his education, he's counting on you." I laughed. "Ethan called me selfish, remember? He can figure out college like everyone else, loans, scholarships, a job." "You can't do this," Clara snapped. "He needs that money." "No, he doesn't. And I'm done funding people who disrespect me." Mom teared up. "Maria, we're family. Family doesn't demand $250,000 and then call me stingy when I don't buy a condo." They looked shocked. I don't think they'd ever tallied up my contributions. "Leave," I said, shutting the door. They argued outside for a bit before leaving. Things went quiet again. I assumed Ethan sorted out college, loans, community college, whatever. It wasn't my concern anymore. Then in early September, Ethan walked into the bakery during the lunch rush. He looked older, maybe a bit leaner, wearing clothes I hadn't bought. He asked to talk, and I took a break. We sat at a quiet table. "Aunt Maria," he started, "I'm so sorry for what I said at my birthday. Calling you selfish was wrong. I was a spoiled jerk." I wasn't expecting that. "Okay, thanks for saying that. I know that tablet was expensive, and I acted like it was nothing. Expecting a condo was insane." I smiled. "Yeah, it was," he continued. "I got a full scholarship to state college. It's not the fancy university I wanted, but it's a solid program. And I'm working part-time at a coffee shop near campus for extra cash." "That's amazing, Ethan. I'm proud of you," he beamed. "Thanks, I had to grow up fast after everything. I realized I can't rely on other people to pay my way." We chatted a bit more about his classes and job. He seemed genuinely excited about his future, and it had nothing to do with my money. "Ethan, you're handling this so well. I accept your apology, and because you're working hard, I'll send you $400 a month to help with expenses. But this stays between us. No telling your mom or grandparents." His eyes widened. "Really? That helps so much with books and stuff. I promise I won't tell." "How are they doing, by the way?" I asked. He sighed. "Not great. Mom's working part-time at a grocery store, and Grandma and Grandpa are both doing full-time jobs now. Money's tight and they're stressed." I felt a flicker of sympathy, but mostly relief. They were surviving, just working for their money like everyone else. Ethan left, promising to stay in touch. I went back to work feeling lighter than I had in ages. Months passed, and I kept sending Ethan $400 a month. He'd text me updates, good grades, new friends, loving his job. It was nice having one family member I could connect with normally. Meanwhile, my second bakery location was coming together. Permits were approved, construction was on track, and the new place would have a sleek coffee bar and event space. The $2,100 I was saving each month, plus my bakery's profits, made it all possible. Life was great. One evening in late December, I was reviewing supplier contracts at the bakery when Ethan walked in again.